Avelithanda indaba. Story time on how I survived for 2 years working in government. The first thing I want to say is waze wangithwala usomandla. Like, what you guys are gonna need. So in this story time, it will include various incidences that happened in the 2 years, but I think the two that you guys want to hear of the most is the carjacking that happened, as well as me being held hostage towards the end of my internship. I am going to refer to different incidences that happened within the 2 years. They might not be in chronological order, but they still happened when I cross-reference other incidences. I graduate at the University of Pretoria around May. And in September, ngamul, and that weekend, I was in the kitchen with umamncane wam. We were cleaning up. It was the end of the ceremony, and I get a call from the department, and they said that I have an interview. And during that time, I was applying from May until the call. Get into the interview, get the job, and now my contract starts. I think we started around early November. So the department in which I worked for was the KZN Department of Social Development, known as DSD. We're the department that helps with natural disaster relief. We're the department that helps with skills development, youth development, helping people with disabilities, helping like social grants. What else did we do? Opened youth centers, skill development centers. Also, if there was a serious GBV case, our MEC would go out to the family and then we would go and support them. It's very important to note that I also worked in the communications directorate, which is basically the directorate that took pictures of the MEC, took videos, wrote newsletters. So in the communications directorate, there were 3 interns that they took. It was me, another girl, and another guy. The girl was in like her late 20s, the guy was in his early 30s, and I was 22 when I got there. This matters, okay? They both were parents as well. And then the staff included 2 graphic designers, a PA, a chief director, and then I think 4 communications officers, and a videographer and a photographer. Age range for the staff was around, the youngest of them was like 32 and the oldest was 65, but they were ranging between 45 and 42. Okay, cool. Internship is Seattle. The first few weeks were very quiet. We literally just got to work at 8:30 and we did nothing. Obviously, we were getting to know people, getting our emails set up and stuff like that, and they were telling us our job descriptions as interns. So we were responsible for travel bookings and photography, videography, well, not videography per se, but photography and writing news articles. And we also assisted with branding. The communications directorate is very dynamic as opposed to the other directorates in the department. We are the directorate that travels the most. Wherever the MEC or the HOD goes, communications follows. And IKZN inkulu. So we would travel to distances like Ejozini, Mzinyati, Amajuba District, Newcastle, Mnambiti, everywhere. Like, we would follow the MEC, you know, and every month there was this thing called a deployment plan. Your name would be on it and the event and where you were going for how many days. So it was like a schedule. As the months went by, I said, how can we create content that is consumable and quick and easy that we can post on TikTok so that people can see the work that we do at DSD. And so I came up with this idea of making like TikTok videos, like content creates videos of the work that the department does. I thought that it was like a nice way for people to consume our content and to repost it and to share it. Okay, cool. There was this event that I shot content with my own phone. I use an iPhone 13. This is important. I use an iPhone 13, started shooting content. As the weeks and months go by, I'm taking content with my own phone of the event. I'm editing it on CapCut, I'm putting captions, I'm posting it on TikTok, and our followers love it and our account starts to grow. So I just made a little job for myself. Apart from taking content on my phone, I used to respond to comments. I revamped their whole Instagram. I put highlights, I changed the bio, I made it more, you know, like an account. I brought it back to life because these accounts were dead, right? And then that was the beginning of my downfall. Well, not the downfall, I would say, but that was the beginning of, you know, M17. They were like, okay, cool. It gets to a point where I tell Mr. V that I can no longer take content on my phone because the trips were increasing, and they wanted me everywhere because nakona futhi MEC no HOD, they were enjoying seeing themselves on TikTok and they loved my videos. And he was like, no problem, I'm gonna give you a state phone, which is the phones that they used, which is like a Samsung A3. And he was like, I'm gonna organize a phone for you, and it's gonna have data and everything. It's gonna have everything that you need so you can continue to do a job. I got the phone same day. I basically became the social media manager of the department. Fast forward to the first incident that happened, which is the carjacking. So the deployment plan comes out and all three of us are deployed to go to Durban. The event is a social workers event. So basically all the social workers in KZN came down to Durban to celebrate them. I think it was like a social workers day event. So we were at the convention center and all three of us were deployed, all three interns, and then the guy that planned the whole thing. So we go there the day before, we go to the venue, we set up, and then the next day we agreed to meet downstairs at reception. We get to the venue, and mind you, our luggage, everything is in the car. I had brought my laptop because I had registered to do my postgrad at UKZN, so I was an intern but also studying at the same time. This guy had this habit of, when we get to events, if we were in Durban, because what's it, we would get to events, he would be like, you know what, you guys do your little thing, I'm gonna go and see my friends, and then when the event is over, you guys call me. And that's exactly what he said. He was like, okay, you guys do your little thing, and then when the event is over, call me because I'm gonna go drinking with my friends. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then he left with the car, and then me and the girl go work the events. The other intern had left. I don't know where he went. The event happens and it goes well, and around 2 o'clock the videographer that was there, because he came in a separate car, I get, okay, I have good news and bad news for you guys. Which news do you want first? And we were like, the bad news. Mind you, we have no idea. The way he said it was just so like, good news or bad news? We're like, we want the bad news. He tells us that Usman Ban has been held at gunpoint, and the car that he was driving got hijacked, and they took everything. And it happened right outside his gates. And we were like, we were shocked. The fact that I can tell this story with no emotion is honestly a miracle, because it has taken me so long telling the story without being upset. So we are upset, we're distraught, because mind you, my laptop with my research was on there, my ID, my shoes, my underwear, my clothes from Freshini, Truwords, my everything, my wallet, everything was in there. And the most important thing that was in there for me personally was the CD that was still in the laptop. It was footage of my first birthday party, and I like watching that footage over and over again because it's the only video footage I have of my late dad. He had passed away 20 years ago, and as much as I have 4-5 full photo albums of him and I together, that was like the only video footage I had. Burned into the CD because it was cassettes in the 2000s, and we burnt it onto a CD and it was gone. We were crying, we were in shock. So I call my bank, I freeze my card, and we finish working the events. We go to the police station in Durban. We write a statement and an affidavit accounting for all the things that we were lost, and we went home. I literally got home with my phone, the small sling bag that I had, which had my Vaseline hand cream, and a few wipes, and what I was wearing. That was the only thing I had came home with from that trip. Long story short, in regards to that incident, we had to go back to work. Obviously, everyone is apologizing to us, but then also everybody at the same time is telling us, you know, to have grace for Luababa because he also went through a traumatic experience. And then we start the process of writing an incident report, and this was the incident report that we had written about exactly what happened. And what is so triggering about this experience is that he lied in his incident report. We were told that he was held at gunpoint outside his gate. What he said is that he was at an intersection and he got distracted by his friend, and as his friend was approaching him, then guys came and held him at gunpoint, and from the intersection that he was in, he ran to his house. Guys, this person weighs 1,000 kgs, okay? I run, he doesn't. Fast forward how I found out that this was planned, even though he has not admitted it to this day, and we haven't gotten an apology to this day. We don't need it. But I started dreaming a lot about him because I was praying after that incident, because my spirit was just not okay. Like, that really upset me, especially losing the footage of my dad, and I just felt so bad. I dreamt about him, and then a few months, like 2 months after the incident, when he came back to work, he was a person that always used to open his door. Like, you would walk past his office and you would see him, his door was open fine. When he came back after the incident, he was a person he would come in, close the door, you wouldn't know what's M17 or my M17, you just wouldn't know. And then Shuti ngelinye ilanga, he left the door open. Maybe he went to the bathroom, or maybe and I saw my laptop on the desk. I literally saw it on the desk. And that's when 2 and 2 equaled 4, and that was that. Did I go in and take my laptop? No. Something in me was just like, let it go. It's okay. It's okay. So I let it go. After that incident, the mood in the office just changed. Mind you, people still don't like me because of the social media thing that I'm doing, and now it's picking up. Fast forward to another incident that happened where I was on leave this one time, and I get a call from the girl that I was interning with, and she was like, Dogozo, you will not believe what I found where we sit in the office, because we had our own intern's office. And I'm like, what? She takes a video of it. I don't have the footage anymore because I deleted it. And it was like, I don't know if it was intlabati or something, but a substance was sprinkled on the chairs that we sit in and the table that we sat at. And I was just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And that's when I knew Ubuti Yabola, it's a difference. It's more than just people not liking me. Like, this is like serious. Like, people are going like to such lengths to intimidate us or whatever. I don't know what was going on. I decided, Ubuti, well, I'm not gonna be able to do this alone. I'm going to need the help of God. And these two became my best friend. I explained the situation to my mom, and my mom was like, okay, you know what, this is what you're gonna do. Every single day from now on until the end of your contract, you pray over your chair, you pray over your desk. Don't sit where that stuff was. Now we're at the point where suddenly our chief director tells us, Ubuti, he is resigning. That is when there was a shift. Like, I felt it in my soul, in my being, that things were about to change a lot. I literally was like, you know what, another detail that I forgot is that after the carjacking, I had asked our chief director at the time if that I could use a state laptop, because I was doing my research and I had lost all of it. And he was like, no problem. And he also like organized me a state laptop, and I also think that rubbed them off the wrong way. Another intern comes, so now there's 3 girls and 1 guy. Another intern comes, now it's 4 interns. Quickly after that, I don't know what happened, but the girl that I was close with, the girl that I was friends with, the girl that I came into the internship with, all of a sudden like, she just became so mean to me. And I cannot tell you what day, what month it was, because it just happened. Like, suddenly, all of a sudden, she's looking me up and down, she's rolling her eyes at me. She sits at one end of our office, and then she gets close with the new intern, which was fine because, you know, she was also a cool girl. So things start happening now. Like, things, it was, I don't know if it was like a spiritual attack or what, but things were just happening at so like at 100 miles per hour, like big niwa, like big niwa. So they used to do this thing. Obuti, when we were at events, they would leave me, like literally leave me. Either I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but they would literally leave me. There was this one event in Durban where it was another social worker event, and the minister at the time of social development was Minister Lindy Wisisulu. She came from Pretoria down to Durban to be with the social workers, and I get a call saying, "Where are you? Like the event is about to start." And I'm like, "I'm at the hotel. I'm here waiting at reception." They're like, "Come out the car. Why are you still sitting in the car?" And I'm like, "Well, guys, I'm literally at reception." The guy that I was supposed to go to the event, the guy that I came with to the hotel, had left me and said that I was sitting in the car. I didn't want to come work. And I was just sitting in the car. Mind you, I'm still at the hotel. I'm at reception. Okay, fine, cool. Get through that. They would do that often. And then this one time, we were in Vryheid, right? Vryheid is about a 4.5 hour drive from where I stay. 7 o'clock at night, we just finished an event, and we went to like a garage, you know, like kono or debonaires or steers, and they were pouring petrol. And as they were pouring petrol, I go on a bathroom break. Before I go, I tell them that, "Oh, see, I'm gonna go buy a snack, some food. I'm gonna come back." Cool. I go to Debonair's, I get myself a small pizza. And when I come back, when I go outside, the car's not there. It's 7 o'clock at night. I'm 4.5 hours away from home. There's nobody there. The first person I'm so scared. The first person I call is my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, bang shile food." Mind you, this has been happening before, numerous occasions, but this time I'm like, I'm fed up. I call my mom. She's upset. She tells me, "Give me the contact details now." She calls them. They call me saying, "What? I thought you left with so and so." Why would I leave your vehicle and go with somebody else while my luggage is still in the car? Like, make it make sense. And why would you drive 10 to 15 minutes without realizing that not all passengers are in the car? Okay. The guy comes, not even the guy. He was the videographer. He was in his 60s. He comes back, he apologizes, and he was like, "I honestly didn't know that I left you. I'm not hearing it. The lights are dimmed in the car is black." I just let the tears roll down my face because I'm just so angry. I lost my appetite. I get home, and he made sure when we got home, he explained to my mom that he would never leave me on purpose, yada yada yada, but I'm not buying it. My mom didn't buy it either. And I pray that I made it home safely. And I also just want you guys to realize, this internship also took a toll on my mom. But imagine your child working in an environment which is, one, toxic, and number two, her colleagues don't like her and they're treating her in this way. And every single night my mom would wait for me, whether I came home at 7, 8, the latest I had come home was 11:30. She would not go to sleep, and this person sleeps ngabo 8 ebusuku. Like after the 7 o'clock news, my mom is in bed, but she would wait for me, and she would check if I still have 10 fingers and 10 toes, because at the end of the day, she's a parent. And the reason why I emphasize the fact that all of them are parents is because even though all of them are parents, they still failed to see that I was somebody else's child. Like, that's how much hate they had for me. I spent so much time with God in that office, crying, praying, praising. So in 2024, it says, "Heavenly Father, I've also prayed that you continue to protect me at work." The Lord equipped me during that time. While we were driving, remember, we drive everywhere in KZN, long distances, ranging from 2 to 5 hours. And I remember, I don't know if it was at Moy Plaza or at Sugela Plaza, but we were following this truck. You know those big trucks that are always on the highway, and some of them have Bible verses behind them or on the sides of the truck. So I remember this one time I'm having a hard day. I'm in a car with somebody that don't likes me. The car ride is silent, is awkward, and in front of us was this huge truck, and it had Galatians 6 verse 9. I remember this one time I had went to Checkers to buy something to eat, and I remember not knowing what I wanted. Did I want to go to the deli or did I want sushi? Deli sushi, deli sushi. By the time I got to the till and I checked out my belongings, like my food, the time on the till slip was 14:14, not 14:15, not 14:10, 14:14. And tell me why that same day I was reading Exodus 14:14. You only need to be still. God will fight for you. Oh my gosh, there was this lady who did not like me. Oh, my mom and Jay, oh, and this annoying voice. Literally had so much to say about me, but never to me. Anyway, Bonkenji, actually, all of them in their 40s, talking, accusing, plotting against a child, a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. Anyway, got to a point where I literally went to another department, which was doing another intake of interns, and I got to the interview stage of my application. Like, I shocked myself. I actually lied and I said I wasn't working. Interview, they're very impressed with my interview. Then they asked me, am I currently working? And I'm like, and I just had to tell the truth. I was like, yeah. So they find out and they can't take me. And in all honesty, I'm glad that they didn't take me, because it would have taken another opportunity from another intern. Yeah, well, so they didn't hire me. And oh, God was like, Dozo, William 17, like, you're not gonna run away from this. You're not gonna have an easy way out of this. We're gonna get through this together. So now I also become frustrated. I'm frustrated because God does not want to take me out of the situation, and I'm not gonna lie and say that I was the perfect intern. I respected everybody. That's facts. I was a professional. That's facts. But then I started doing things that mirrored their behavior. So, for example, they were the type of people that would come to work at whatever time. Especially this one intern, the guy, they would be so lenient with him because they're the same age, they're cool, whatever. So he would come to work at like 11 o'clock in the morning and then leave at 2. He would get away with it. He was like, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start my days at the gym and then I'm going to come to work. Which is not right. Every time I did it, it was an issue, but every time they did it, it wasn't an issue. And obviously that was brought up in meetings, like, amayabantu bayajimini, amayabantu babehamba babaleka ngathi magundwane bayajimini njengontokozi. Right? Mind you, other people are doing it, and I'm not saying other colleagues because mina ngeke ngiphike nabantu abasebenza khona. I'm talking about interns. There was a meeting where they literally had, it was like assassinate Dogozo's character day. And I'm actually really happy that our director, even our interim director, were the type of people who didn't pay any mind to that. Like, they didn't care about office drama. They just wanted work done. As long as Dogozo is doing her work, then I'm not saying her behavior is fine. I was reprimanded, but they made it such a big deal. They made it about me. At no point did anybody check me for the quality of my work. The quality of my work spoke for itself. If you go to the Instagram page now, they've become so lazy. The highlights from 2023 are still on their Instagram. They don't reply to comments. No one's managing their account. They've turned the TikTok into a PowerPoint presentation account. Fast forwarding to the end of my internship, and this is where the hostage situation happened. I come to work, my routine, get in the office, pray, spend time with God, apply for jobs, things like that. I get a call from the MEC's office. Her media liaison officer calls me. He's also a great guy, and also her staff was really, really lovely because I was there for 2 administrations. He's asking me, it's okay, your internship is about to end, what are your plans? Mind you, I had no plans. I didn't know where my next job was going to be. I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do with my life. But I'm telling you, no, I have big plans. And he just wanted to wish me all the best, and he just wanted to thank me for the work that I've done for the MEC. I walk back to my office and the Powerpuff Girls, mind you, these ladies don't even like each other, but that day they're sitting in the reception area. So in the communications floor, there's like a mini reception area, waiting area, where there's like a couch and a TV and a desk. So they're all sitting on the couch, and I go to the kitchen, get some water, and I walk past them, and I just get this feeling like something is not okay, something is not right. So I sit in my office, I'm hearing mtshele, ya vele unjalo vele mtshele bese mtshele ukuthi ubani. And I'm like, is it about me? Not about me? I paid no mind. I mind my business. A few minutes later, one of them comes in, and this woman, mother of two, you know those mean girls in that mean girl in high school, that the spokesperson for the group, like, she will say what she and everyone else is thinking. You know, Ubuti, whatever we feel about this person, we're gonna tell her because she's gonna tell that person. Okay, so she comes to me. She sits down and she's like, yeah, anyway, yeah, someone. She comes in with the form and she's like, an iPad had been lost, and the last person to have had it was me. I thought that I had brought it back, but turns out that I didn't. It was eventually found and I returned it. But she wanted me to claim at that time that I purposely lost the iPad. And then she told me that the laptop that I was given by the chief director needs to stay behind, and that nobody likes me, nobody wants to travel with me. Mind you, at that point, towards the end of the internship, I wasn't put on the deployment list anymore. Her hands in my face, she's getting loud with me and she's trying to intimidate me. And I'm like, where is this coming from? She's like, everybody thinks that about you. My mom Dala, by the way. Okay, cool. I sit there and then I'm like, no, like, I'm not gonna take this. And I'm like, okay, now you guys are showing your true colors. And she was like, don't say that to me. Don't say that to me. And I'm like, okay, so now you guys are showing your true colors. She's like, anyway, listen, you're not going anywhere. I've spoken to security downstairs. I've spoken to security here. You are not going to leave this office until you sign this paper and until you leave that laptop. I'm outside. You're not going anywhere. She gets up, she closes the door. I call my mom, I explain the situation. My mom is like, Senkon. My mom gets there and she calls me and she's like, security is not allowing me to come inside. That is my child. I want to go and fetch my child. They eventually let her upstairs. I'm still in the office, and now while I'm in the office, I'm praying. I'm asking God to be with me, to be with my mom in the situation, because I don't know what's going to happen. I hear shouting, and at this point I'm like, should I leave the office or should I go to my mom? Because now they're disrespecting my mom. About 10-12 minutes pass, my mom calls me and she's like, come downstairs, I'm in the car, we're leaving. She's like, take the laptop with you, don't sign anything. I get up and I leave because she was like, I get downstairs, I get to the car. My mom is upset, her eyes are red, she's shaking with anger. She was like, these people are evil, these people are disrespectful, these people were shouting at me, telling me, Uguti, why is Nontokozo in this office defending herself? Who does she think she is? She's come here and she thinks she runs the show. Who does your child think she is? Disrespecting her. Nobody said this was wrong. Nobody even apologized to the way my mom, the way in which they spoke to her. Everybody was just watching. The ladies in the office that were bullying me, though the one that was in my face, she left. The other two that were there that also don't like me, they said nothing. They stood there and they watched my mom be disrespected. We go to my GP because my mom was like, you're not going to work tomorrow. I don't care. That happened on a Wednesday, so I got a sick note until Friday. But that same afternoon, I went to my psychologist. I had an emergency, appointment, and by the grace of God, he was available. So I go to him and I have a session, explain the situation, and he was like, this is not okay. These people are crazy. They're coming after a child. Shame on them. And then he writes me a sick note for 7 days. So now we're in the month of October, which is the last month of my internship. After that week, I still had 2 more weeks at that place. And then he says, if you go to work after this week that I've given you off and the situation is still the same, I'm going to write you a note for the rest of your contract. You will not go back to that place until the end of the month. And when I get home, Mrs. T WhatsApps me and she apologizes because she wasn't there. Mind you, they picked the perfect opportunity to come and attack me because no interim was there, no manager was there, it was just me. But that's how bullies work. Mrs. T messages me. She says she wants to see me on Friday. She understands that I'm on leave. She has noted my sick notes, but she would really love to see me. And at this point, I'm tired. Like, I start weeping. Like, everything is coming to me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm remembering everything that has happened from the year before, and now we're in the last year, and it's overwhelming. And then literally the Holy Spirit was like, Dogoso, let me tell you something, okay? This whole crying thing that you're doing, I understand it, but stop it. Have I not said that I will walk with you, that I will be with you? I've heard you pray. I've heard your mother pray. I've heard your siblings pray. I've heard your Bible study group pray for you. I have heard your friends pray for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to help you. In the fire that you've been walking, you have not been burned. You have not been consumed. You have not perished. So what are you crying for? You're going to go to this meeting. You're going to tell her the truth and you're going to be fine. And that's exactly what I did. Friday comes, go to the meeting, explain the situation. Oh, Mrs. T apologizes. She is shocked. Mind you, the lady that was screaming in my face, there's so many things that she has done in that department, not only to me, but she has broken so many rules, and I have protected her by keeping quiet. One time where, on work trips, you were allowed to bring your partner. She brought her partner, both of them were drinking. No one who is not employed by the department is allowed to drive a state car. So her Ben 10 drives the state car while we are on a trip. I think we're going to Port Shepstone or Selborne, I don't remember. Yeah, Port Shepstone, that area. They get into an accident on the N3. They hit an intercity bus. They crash into it. Her man gets out and fights the driver of intercity. And now, Segbuwatina on the N3, people are taking videos. The car is literally branded Department of Social Development. And she lied and she said that she hit a pole. I kept quiet. But today, she's in my face. She's screaming. She's telling me she doesn't like me. She's demanding all assets from me. So then Mrs. T was like, I don't care what anybody says. I am the interim chief director, and my instruction to you is you're going to keep these assets, the phone and the laptop, until the end of your contract. Then I explained to her that the phone is no longer in my possession. They have taken it and they have not given it to me. But it's not mine anyway. But I was running the accounts, but then they just saw an opportunity to take it and they used it as a Wi-Fi router because no one was running the accounts. No one was doing the videos that I was doing. And yeah, so that 5-day leave that I was given finishes. I have 2 weeks left. I was like, just stay at home. There's no reason for you to go back there. Just stay at home. And then I said to my mom, if I believe God is my defender and my protector, why would I stay at home? He said that he will never forsake me. I'm not going to stay at home. I needed a break, but I was not a coward. I went back. At that time, they didn't really care for me. They didn't care if I came in at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. They didn't care for me. I came to work at 8:30 and I left around 3:30. The last week of my internship, I came to work at around 10. I started at the gym. For some reason, something was like, just start at the gym. Don't go to work. I've been coming to work every single day. Remember, I'm Miss Professional. I'm going to finish this contract through. I started at Virgin Active. When I come to work, they're having a farewell party. Nobody told me anything. They're having it in the office that I'm in. The office that was told that only I'm supposed to sit in. They're having it there. No one tells me anything. It was not written on the group chat because we had a group chat. And I walk in and it's absolute silence. I take my chair. I go sit at the other end of the office. They continue with the little gathering. And the day like the day ends, and I just said to God, thank you. The last day of my internship, no one was in the office because towards the end of the year the DSD calendar does get busy. I left the state laptop, I have to make that clear, with security, with the charger, and I left the office at around 10:30 in the morning. And guess where I went? The gym. So I go to the gym. 12 o'clock that same morning, I get a call. Dozo, is this you? Yes. Hi, it's so and so from so and so. We're really happy with the application. Are you free for an interview at this particular day? And I didn't know whether to scream, to cry, to jump. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm free for an interview. Long story short, I get the job. And the way God is so intentional, this job, first of all, at DSD, there was no Wi-Fi. I have Wi-Fi. The company phone that I use, apart from my iPhone, is an iPhone 16 Pro Max. That is the company phone that I use. I have worked with brands, national brands. Literally the second day of my new job, I had a campaign to shoot with Checkers. Mind you, the Lord knows I love skincare. So I worked with Nivea, I've worked with Eucerin. The place that I work with has a gym, and I work with a diverse group of people. I'm literally always willing to be the dumbest person in the room, and that's exactly what I prayed for. Because I was faithful, because I was obedient, God saw me through. He had given me everything that I had prayed for on the other side of what I had gone through. That's how it ended. That is how it ended. And I just want to say to whoever's on the other side of the screen, if you've made it this far to the story time, this is the happy ending. God wants you to know, because we're all going back to work on Monday. Some of us have been at work already. Even though the calendar has changed, you're going to go back to environments where people have not changed. And I just want to tell you that what he did for me, he will do for you. It's also important to remember that God loves us all. He also loves your bullies. He also loved them when they were insulting me, disrespecting me, lying on me, doing witchcraft on me. I used to have the craziest dreams about these people. He still loves them. He loves us all, ngokufana. But it's important to know that we all have to account for the wrongs that we do to other people. So just because he loves us all doesn't mean he's not a God of justice. He sees everything. He hears everything. He wants you to be faithful. And the way I survived that internship is that even though he was a God, he was also my father. I told him everything. I cried out to him. I told him how things made me feel, and he listened. You will not burn. You will not perish. You will not be consumed. Yeah, that's the end.
Hey guys, this is Kwazi T. Yo, yes, I have guys. Like, why are people toxic at work? Why are people toxic at work? So she's explaining how she was treated at work and how she was made to feel and how there's just a toxic work environment. Really, guys, why do we, especially older people, I've heard, they're the ones who bully the younger generation. Why do people feel threatened at work? Why do people feel threatened at work? Some people went on to comment. One of the comments went on to say, yes, people treat government jobs like it's their birthright. So many people want government jobs for status stability, but it's not worth it. The evils people go to are so disgusting. Sorry for what you went through. And also, they used to be jealous of that my husband brought me lunch at work. Now I'm so scared of people shame. I'm sorry for what happened to you. And then she responded by saying, people who don't know joy usually take it away from others, sending hugs. And that is so true, guys. People usually do that. Another comment went on to say, oh baby, I love how grounded you are in our God. Mommy raised you well. At my big age of 37, I went through serious struggles too. I remember one of the painful, humiliating thing happened. They made me cry in one of our internal interviews. Why did I apply for the first internal post? Can't tell you. First time in my life, a strong-willed me cried in an interview. The questions they asked, oh boy, life humbled me real quick. People tried to assassinate my character, but my work spoke for itself. And she goes on to say that but she was still surrounded by prayerful siblings. I still pushed back, but it only made things worse until I started listening to Miles Monroe preaching. Basically, guys, what I learned from the stories is that we should all remain faithful to whatever religion we are, and that whatever we go through, we need to put our faith in the Lord. This is so much like for just a young girl, and amongst all these adults, she truly went through a lot. Guys, please like, follow, subscribe my channel for more story time.